Republican congressman from the 1st District of Alabama, is Congressman Bradley Byrne with us. Congressman, great to have you.
It's great to be on. Thank you.
Now, your take last night, I know some of us were hoping against hope that maybe finally, after 72 months, Congressman, we would get something that resembled a statesman. I didn't find that last night. I got a lot of hyperbole. What say you?
No, we didn't get any statesmanship last night. He said we're turning the page. It looked like to me the same old page we've been hearing for the last several years out of this president. And he didn't show any real willingness to work with the Congress on the things that we believe we were elected to work on and what the people spoke so strongly about during the elections last November. So it was a pretty disappointing speech, and there's some details that are beginning to come out about some of the programs he announced last night that are absolutely astounding. For example, what he wants to do, part of the way he wants to pay for this community college scholarship program, is to tax the 529 plans that 12 million middle-class Americans have set up to send their children to college. So he wants to tax the people that are responsible and safe for the children to go to college to provide scholarships to people who haven't. That's not helping the middle class. That's robbing the middle class to help somebody else. The middle class doesn't need that at all. They need somebody to get the government off their back, and that's what the Republicans want to do, and clearly the president's going in a different direction.
Congressman, it really seemed last night like I'm calling it, this speech was somewhere between Robin Hood and Gotham Myth, because on one hand, you've got the president talking about he wants to help the middle class, and he's going to do that by shifting up an already declining pie, taking from some people to give to other people, not understanding that it's the formation of capital that creates people to make investment to create jobs. But the other thing is, there's millions of middle class people, Congressman, whose entire life savings is wrapped up in their 401k plan that they've been putting a little money in for a very long time. It's all they have. That's affected by the capital gains increase. That has nothing to do with the Mitt Romneys, the well-to-do. I mean, that's just middle-class people. Depending on that, they're going to be hammered.
Well, if you spent your 3 weeks Christmas vacation in Hawaii, you wouldn't understand what the middle class really needs in America either. This guy goes off to these faraway places with the elite around the country, talks to them, gets these wild ideas, and then comes and gets in front of the American people and says, well, I'm speaking for the middle class. I'm middle class. I grew up in the middle class. My mother and father worked very hard to send their kids to college and to give us a good education and try to get ahead in the world. And that's what the vast majority of people are. And that's what I try to do for my children. And to sit there and watch him stand up there last night and essentially insult our intelligence by saying, well, I'm standing up for the middle class, what really all he's doing is benefiting the elite, including the media elite, who just seem to love him in these speeches. It really was kind of insulting to the rest of us. They're out here working day in and day out, and we don't get 3 weeks of vacation in Hawaii.
You know, Congressman Bradley Byrne, I'm so glad you brought the media up. We're in the media, and I call my show Common Sense for the Commonwealth. We try to give straight. We try to give really pure, unadulterated analysis, both sides of the aisle. I get Democrats on our show as well as conservatives, sir, like yourself. But I found the liberal media last night just drooling over this guy. I just found it made my skin crawl. Like, what was up with that?
Well, they have been in love with him from the very beginning. I mean, he is sort of their beau ideal for what they want going forward for America. And so they're going to do everything they can to try to make him look good, despite the facts being different from what he actually says. And so you don't see the sort of critical analysis of the things that he says that there ought to be. Mm-hmm. So unfortunately, we have to rely upon other ways of getting the message out, like your program. I wish we could depend upon the CBSs and NBCs to do it right, but they clearly don't. So keep speaking out. I hope people listening in will continue to listen and speak out themselves, because at the end of the day, it's the common sense of the American people that have built this country and will continue to push this country forward. and not this elitism we're getting out of this president and the national news media.
Congressman Byrne, let's get to foreign policy. Didn't say radical Islam, didn't say Al-Qaeda one time, but he spent a lot of time on why we need to shut down our interrogation prison in Cuba. What's his plan?
Well, his plan is to let all these people go in Guantanamo Bay who will return to the battlefield to do harm to American servicemen and women. He's already done that with this deal he struck with regard to Sergeant Bergdahl. So we know what his game plan is. He's already done it, and he continues to do it. And he's negotiating without getting anything in return from the Cubans. We found out yesterday, by the way, that the same time that our negotiators are showing up in Cuba, a Russian intelligence naval vessel docked in Havana. Let me tell you something. I don't play poker, but even somebody as bad at playing poker as I can could take this president and win a lot of money off of him because he doesn't know how to negotiate.
Well, now some in the House and Senate, even Republicans, want to give this president fast-track authority to negotiate so-called trade deals around the globe without oversight. How does that make any sense based on what we've seen in the first 72 months he's been in there?
Well, you know, I'm a very strong free trade person, but giving this president more unfettered authority scares me because he's abused the authority he's got now. So normally people would look to me and say, well, this guy's a free trader, he should be willing to do this. And I'm sitting over in the corner saying, I don't know about this one because I don't know about this president. I don't think we can trust him to stay within the confines of the law and to do what's in the best interest of the American people. I mean, every time we turn around, he's doing a deal with Iran. He's doing a deal with Cuba without getting anything really back. I'm worried if we go off for another break, he'll recognize North Korea. So we've got some important things that we need to do for the American people abroad. We need a stronger commander-in-chief, and he's just not getting the job done, and I don't think he is.
All right, we're out of time. We want to thank Republican Congressman from the 1st District of Alabama, Bradley Byrne, for being with us.